Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to another conversation of the Afro Social Workers Forum. And today I'm indeed live with Batemona Abeke directly from Köln. Ma'am, it's a privilege to meet you vis-a-vis, like they say. How are you today?
Thank you very much for those that are not believing that we are live. This is Vera that I'm touching. Hello from Cologne. We are very privileged to be together to have our first live program today. And for those that don't know me, my name is Batemona Abeke, social worker, trauma consultant, and also working a lot in the anti-discrimination area. And I'm representing the institution Pamoja Africa here in Köln, and we are very deep when it comes to supporting, counseling, mentoring, and coaching families from African countries. And also we are working a lot with the youth, Jugendamt, in English, Youth Welfare Office. And today we are going to share this topic out of experience, out of our counseling, out of our involvement with Jugendamt and families in details. And we are hoping that you are going to enjoy this topic. And we are hoping too that at the end of this, that those doubts that are involved with Jugendamt are going to be handled or reduced. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. It's a privilege to also be here live from Köln, and the story behind being live from Köln now is another one. But it's such a privilege to meet you live and to see the work and amazing job that you are doing here in Köln. And I'm sure that the people here in Köln should be privileged and be happy that they have an institution like Pamoja Africa, and of course, in your person with your whole team that are really working to support the African families, in particular here in Köln, in North Rhine-Westphalia, and of course, supporting also the people in diverse ways. Ma'am, today is a very specific conversation, and we said that we titled it today, How the Conflict with Jugendamt, or so to say, the Welfare Office arises. How does it happen, ma'am? Tell us more about the Jugendamt and the institutions.
So maybe first of all, before we talk of conflict, it's important to understand who Jugendamt is and what they do. So the Jugendamt is a German word, in English directly translated. It means the youth welfare support, children, youth welfare support. Now, Jugendamt, to break it down, can be compared. This is what I like telling my clients, like, here in Germany, we have people that are living alone. They don't have a family, or the family is there, but is not reachable or not willing to support. So it could be a mother or a father, you alone, or both of you with your partner, and you don't really know what to do when it comes to parenting. You couldn't be too young, you couldn't be not understanding the language, and could be your upbringing methods are not compatible with the methods of educating children here in Germany. So because of this, Jugendamt is there to be answerable. In fact, it's supposed to be answering questions. It's supposed to be solving problems. It shouldn't be a problem. So we are here today to break those cliches, those prejudices that are connected with Jugendamt. And we are here also to inform you of your right, just in case you're working or you're involved with Jugendamt and you are not treated the way you are supposed to be treated. So if you know somebody like this, please tag this somebody, invite this person so that they can hear live from social workers who have a lot of experiences working and dealing with Jugendamt. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Many big words you used. You're new here, and then you say maybe they do not understand the kind of education or upbringing. Ma'am, how should we understand the upbringing of a country when we come newly? What are the steps to do to understand so that we can properly meet these needs of the children without affecting also the kids, the children, and going against the rules, the norms of the society concerning upbringing?
Vera, it's a big process. It's a long process. It doesn't begin today to tomorrow. The same, this business of not understanding they are bringing methods that are acceptable here is a big challenge to many families that have international backgrounds, or in this case, we are specifically dealing with African families. It's not a laughing matter. You are new here. There's nowhere where most of the things are written in German language. You have children, you take them to kindergarten, all you know maybe is the school system in your own country. So when you come here, you may try to do what you are used to do in your own country, but you end up finding out that that is not applicable, or if it is done here, it's going to bring problems. I want to give examples that I've learned African families have issues with Jugendamt. And Jugendamt has different departments. We have a department that takes care of the right of the custody of the children, but the specific department I'm talking about is the one that offers support when it comes to upbringing children, educating children. So in German, it's called Sozialdienst. This is very, very important. So now, if you bring your child maybe to kindergarten and there is a conflict, it doesn't matter. It could be a little problem in kindergarten. The school teachers are going to speak to you. First of all, they are going to explain to you there is a problem. Maybe your child needs this, or your child is having this deficit and you are supposed to do this. We think that there is a health problem. We would advise you as experts to take your child to a doctor. If you don't do that, and they keep repeating you every now and then, and they find out that the child's health is in danger, so the law says that they must involve Jugendamt. They must inform Jugendamt. And because Jugendamt is like auntie or uncle to children, for of course those that are having deficit, they are going to come to your place. They will either visit you at home, or they are going to write a letter to you asking you to go and see them. Now, I want to advise my viewers, what transpires from there is totally in your hand. You are the one who is going to decide whether this case with Jugendamt or this issue in Jugendamt is going to take a short time or it's going to take a long time. You decide how long this department is going to be with you. And mind you, if you open a file at Jugendamt, this file is closed when a child turns 18 years and over. So it's not a laughing matter. So it is making us to be responsible for our children, but it doesn't tell us to be afraid of Jugendamt, because I personally, when my children were small, I got a lot of help and I never got into any problem. I could walk into Jugendamt office, talk to them the way I would talk to anyone without fearing. So this is what our intention is with our program today, that those fears, the stigma that is connected to Jugendamt, we want you to understand how this office that is supposed to bring something fruitful to our children, how we can work with them without fears. Thank you.
This is a lot of amazing great stuff. Now, how do we and how do you, as a trauma, you are also a trauma consultant. And this is so specific with you because you're not only having the social work background, you're not only having the business background, and you're not only working with families, but you really have also information, knowledge, know-how, and skills in trauma work and on trauma conversations. Ma'am, how do you take away? Now I'm talking to a trauma consultant. How do we help the African families in Germany, in North Rhine-Westphalia, in Baden-Württemberg, to take away the fear that they have towards these institutions? Because we have the impression that the institutions have put so much fear in the hearts of the families. How do we get this fear out of these families?
So thank you. So I would want to address not only the families that are viewing, but I would also want to advise the professionals that are maybe working in the Jugendamt, the teachers, the policemen, anyone who is watching this, so that they can also understand what is behind some families. And I'm talking now from the trauma expertise. So some of the people that are having issues with Jugendamt, they have a long history. Maybe they're having trauma experiences. Maybe something has happened that somebody has taken their child. Maybe they have been they have been endangered. Maybe before leaving their country, on the way to Europe, or even upon arrival in Germany, they have faced some sort of experiences that will make them always be afraid. So if or sometimes some things are not straight, so you are always afraid. So this could be the background why most of the families, most of the parents, or even the teachers may be having this fear out of bad experience. Now, I want any professional, anybody to always have this this information on the background. Could it be that this person is so afraid because of the bad experiences they have had in the past? If that is the case, as a professional, I expect you, or I advise you, to first of all try to take this fear away from this person. Try to establish a relationship so that you can understand what could be going on with this person. Or even better is to inform you more about different cultures. So any case that is presented to you, you may know how to go about it. Now, back to those families that have gone through difficult things. Unfortunately, if you ever hear a paragraph of the law being quoted, paragraph Act A, in English,
8A.
In English, it's 8A. If in any of your letter you see 8A, if in a conversation in any office or in kindergarten you hear 8A, then you have to act, because there is a serious problem coming on your way. So you have to ask, if it is a letter and you see there is 8A written on it, look for a professional, look for a social worker, look for somebody that you trust. Ask. Please don't ask somebody on the street. Don't ask somebody who does not have who is not acquainted with these laws, because they may give you information that is not good. So this is it. This is what I would say. And now, if you are having those fears, if you're having those problems, it doesn't mean that Jugendamt is going to add more problems to you. Just try to see this as like a doctor. When you are sick, the doctor has to find out what could be the problem. The doctor has to do a diagnostic. He has to examine you. He has to take temperature. Just try to compare this with Jugendamt, trying to find out what the problem is. And once the problem is known, what problem could be, then they are going to recommend something that is good for your family and for your child. This is my experience every time. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So you were talking to three categories of people, or two especially. One, to those that are social workers working in institutions, that they should have more compassion, they should have more understanding, and understand the fact that people may have gone through a lot of trauma on their way to Europe, on their way to Germany. And so there's a need for a lot of compassion, lot of understanding in dealing with the families. And then on the other hand, you're talking to the parents, the clients themselves, to know how to deal with the situation and understand that actually paragraph 8A is the most important, and Jugendamt comes in when it is really danger alarming. And that you says, if they see paragraph 8A, they should take any other thing so serious.
Yes.
Now, ma'am, my question now is, before paragraph 8A comes into play, is there a way that African families can learn to accept some helps before we even get to that level of 8A?
So maybe I forgot to mention that 8A is the last step before a child is taken away from you. So that you can know it's not a joking matter. And once 8A is mentioned, or it is, you have to prove that it is not the case. And this is not a laughing matter.
Let's talk about 8A. What are the examples of 8A?
Examples of 8A is that you have beaten your child, and there is proof that you've beaten. Before even they prove, the child is gone. This is it.
This is serious.
It's serious. Another thing could be maybe a child has an accident because of your negligence. Maybe a child gets burnt and you are not in the house. A child falls from the balcony and you are not careful. A small child is not supposed to be at the balcony alone. Or you leave a child in the house alone and somebody finds out. A child that is not supposed to be left at home. And I'm talking about children in Europe. I'm not talking of a 10-year-old in Kenya or in Cameroon who is used to cook pounded yam for the whole family. It is not the same 10-year-old who can cook pounded yam for the whole family in Cameroon, and without anybody thinking that this child is going to burn himself or not, is not the same. You cannot leave a 10-year-old here alone in the house. 10-year-old is supposed to be under the care of an adult. So this is the extreme examples that I want to give so that you can understand. Or a child goes to a doctor, or in kindergarten or in school, and they find out that the child is having some scars in the body. Or even a child reports that mommy is harassing me, mommy is beating me, daddy is beating me, or even shouting. There is also emotional violence, always shouting, depriving a child to have food, always sending the child to punishing the child in the bedroom, and you are inflicting fear in a child. So this could be examples of 8A, because then the growth and the development of this child is in danger. This is actually what is meant by 8A. It means that there is a danger in the growth and the development of a child. So we need to avoid this. But like I said, before it gets to 8A, there has been a lot of discussion, a lot of experience, a lot of talks, a lot of phone calls, and this 8A is the last one. Yes.
Man, thank you very much. I welcome you all. I'm seeing Messmen now people. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your support. I'm seeing Enno Maggie Roy. You're welcome. And she say, hello, beauties. More up to these ladies. And then I'm thanking you, Sharon Dasi, who says great information. Thank you, Mori Okeyo, who is also saying, wow, hello, good to see you together. Yes, that's Mary DeCaro. Yes, indeed, we are live together. So this is now the broadcast that I'm doing from Baden-Württemberg and then in Cologne. So indeed, we are live together today from Köln. Maureen Okeyo says 10 years old is supposed to be under the care of an adult in Germany. You cannot leave them alone in the house. Ma'am, this takes me now to the case where the Jugendamt comes in. When the Jugendamt comes in, ma'am, how do we react? Because I think that's usually where the trouble comes, the way we go about it.
Okay, let's just take a trending case study that is going on, that a mother and a child was taken away, I think in Dortmund. So far what I have read is that there was a problem in kindergarten. It started in kindergarten, and there was some either misunderstanding or it's a problem. And when the parents were asked, they just became, or the mother became emotional and either started shouting. And when she left now, or either police was called, and then, of course, like I said at the very beginning, when police is involved, or when experts think that there is something not right with the mother. Now, this being emotional, this shouting.
I was going to ask you that. What is emotional? I mean, you think emotion. What do you mean emotional?
Emotional, I mean that when you approach, you become aggressive, you are shouting, you are swearing on the expert, and you are behaving irrational. you are not able to be put under control. Nobody is able to calm you down. This one, this temperament that we have from nature can be misunderstood. So it's very important to calm down when even if you are in a problem, or even if you have something that is not right has been said about you. It is very important to calm down, because what happens is, if you're not able to calm down and speak in a normal term, then they may think that you're having some psychological or psychiatric issues. And immediately this happens, now the story changes. The story changes that you're not a good mother, you're not a good father. And by good, I mean that you are not in a position to decide or to make the right decisions for your child. So, because if you are sick, if you're having some mental issues, you may not be there for your child properly. So this is what happened basically in this story that is trending, that is causing a lot of anxiety to African families, giving an impression that Jugendamt can just easily take in children like this. I am here to tell you, I am not favoring Jugendamt, but I just, on a neutral ground, I want to tell you that Jugendamt don't take children from their parents just like this. First of all, we need to understand that it's very costly. It's very expensive to take a child away. To look for a foster parent that may take care of that child according to the needs of that child, it's not easy to find a match. Number two, it's very, very expensive if you calculate every day how much it takes the youth department to take care, to pay other people to take care of your child. Number three, a child is better off with the mother and father. There is no discussion about this. And this information is known, very well known to Jugendamt. So there is no need of them removing a child from the parents and giving it to someone else, because this tampers with the development of a child. These things can only happen if the parents of this child or children are not in a position to take care or provide the needful for their children. So this is a very important point that has to be understood, that Jugendamt does not just pick children like this. And another case is that there is a law that is stopping anybody just taking a child to your from the parents. The basic law, the fundamental law says that a child is better with the mother and father. And even for children, for Jugendamt to take the children away, they have to go to court, and the court has to really prove and admit that these children can be taken away from their parents. This information we need to share with our viewers this evening. Thank you.
Oh, again, I want to stay on emotion, ma'am, because I think this is always the trigger. And usually, ma'am, when you say emotion, but don't many Africans, they talk loud. They're just loud, and they're fine with that. And is that a problem? To just, I mean, it's my nature. They say it's my nature, and that's how we are. Why do they want to change us? That's what I hear often. How real is this? That's my nature. Can one change that?
Unfortunately,
emotional attitude.
Yes, Vera. Unfortunately, this loudness, this temperamental has to be balanced. You know, as I said, if you are shouting on the streets or Lagos or in Kenya or in Cameroon, nobody may even pay attention to you, because everyone is shouting and everyone is happy going on the business. But you can't do that here in this society we find ourselves in. If you do that, you will be closely observed. Is everything okay? So this is what we have to know, the kind of shouting. We have to know how we behave. I have seen people come to my office because they want me to help them. They will go kneeling down, raising their hands, saying, I'm sorry, ma. If you go and stage this drama at Jugendamt or police or in kindergarten, they will tell you, you are not okay. There is a problem, you need some help. So I am here to advise you today. Please, I understand if you come and kneel down and start raising hand and begging and beg, I may understand, but my German colleague may not understand because this is not how she grew up. So we are having a cultural problem. We are having an intercultural problem here. So this is why I am addressing my viewers today, not only the parents, but also the hosts, the people, the owners of this country where we came. It's also important that they move one step and want to understand us and our families and how we live, how we talk, so that we can meet in the middle. And it's also not right to say everything that parents know about upbringing in the African countries is wrong. That is wrong. Unless if it is posing a danger to a child. So we say that hitting a child, it's a method to correct a child. Hitting a child here is trauma. You are causing mental distress to a child. So, and when you are beating out of annoyance, you do not know where you can hit. You can hit and break a neck. You can hit and remove teeth. So this has to be taken care of because they don't want children to be hurt in this country. So these emotions we are talking about, we need to balance them. So when we are shouting, laughing, talking loud, we need to know that we have to limit it. We are not being told to change everything about us, but let's know where are we shouting, who are we shouting to. And they say if you go to Rome, do what Romans do. So if they don't know shouting in this country, let's just reduce our volume a little bit, because this what is even what brings problems with the neighbors. Although we feel that we are really being treated not right, but this will cause a neighbor to call police. He said there's in this family upstairs or downstairs, there is always shouting. We don't understand what's going on. Go and verify if there is domestic violence. And without knowing, you have someone knocking on your door. Thank you.
Ma'am, you said some very, 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 very important stuff. You mentioned intercultural conflict. And I'm very happy that we are actually indirectly talking to the youth welfare department, the youth office. We're talking to the Jugendamt now, addressing the fact that we also have to have intercultural opening so that we can understand the clients that we are having. And on the other hand, too, we are also appealing to our clients that they should also have intercultural opening to understand the society in which they are, right? Ma'am, my question, I want you to address really the Jugendamt, because it appears like they have become a trauma also to the people. How do we approach them so that they understand that just the mentioning of their name, people are already sick? And so how do we help them so they also understand how to work with your clients?
So first of all, I just want to say that we have people, when they hear Jugendamt, they start just breathing fast. This is trauma. So it's the intention of Jugendamt is not to traumatize people. The intention of Jugendamt is to help people. So I'm addressing Jugendamt that may end up watching this program today, either today or later, that there is need to have an intercultural approach. In our company, in our association, we don't offer only family help. We offer intercultural family help. Why? Because we are only working with people who are coming from African countries, because we believe that when they come from these countries, they will be better serve people from this continent. I do not waste my time working with people from Ukraine or Russia, because I know that there are so many Africans that may need my expertise. I understand the language. So if they say A, I will understand A and not B, because this is what is bringing a lot of conflict. Yes. So we have to also create such structures. We are calling on African experts, African social workers to go, or people or children, young people that are going to universities to go and be to position ourselves in all these places so that we can bring in this culture and this intercultural aspect, this diversity, this diversity approach in these organizations. In all companies that I have worked for before, I have left a legacy there because I don't leave them the way I found them. Maybe during eating lunch, I will take advantage and talk about our eating habits. And without knowing, they know what we eat and how we eat with fingers. So nobody is going to complain that these children are just touching food anyhow, because we have some specific dishes in African continent that are eaten and they taste better with the fingers.
Oh, yes.
If you are eating your swallow, you may not struggle with your spoon and your knife, but you just wash your fingers. And this is how we were trained from children, and we are going to continue.
And it helps with motoring.
Until the kingdom come, we are going to be eating our swallow with our hands. So there is a lot that we can continue and we have to explain. So if I am called as an expert to go, because these children are always eating with the fingers, I am going to tell you what is going on here. Eating with the fingers is good even for motoric skills, getting these skills. So this is why I'm talking of intercultural approach. So this is very, very important that we position ourselves, and that also the government hires people who are having this intercultural experience on background, so that there will be less conflict, even if somebody is put into a family. Now, we did not mention that the youth, what happens when Jugendamt comes? First of all, they are going to check, is there any need of this family getting help? And what kind of help? There are different kinds of help. There could be help of giving you a social worker who is called a family help, sozialpädagogische Familienhilfe, to be working with you. It could be just installing only one person to be working with a specific child. It could be that this child should be going for activities or be picked in the morning, go to a target group, and being brought in the evening. They can also propose that this child goes to a boarding school, that a child goes on Monday and comes back home on Friday evening. They could be also, no, this child is better off being in a foster family or in a foster group. And when the worst comes from the worst, then the child is completely going to be taken away and will have not contact with the parents until Jugendamt deems it right that the parents have learned something in the process, and they would slowly introduce their child again to the parents. So there are different kind of helps that we talked about in our long book, which I always have. This is Bible. This is our Bible of social work. So it guides us. So everything we are saying here is not a hearsay, but it has different paragraphs that we can find here in the law. So if the help that your family may need or your child may need is not the help that Vera's family may need. So please don't compare. Just check that you just cooperate and things are going to work out right. Thank you.
Ma'am, you spoke about, thank you very much, ma'am. You spoke about a lot of helps. Now, where does this Afro social worker come in, and how can the Afro social workers really guide the families even before paragraph 8A comes in?
Now, the social worker can be maybe working in a counseling center, and when you get this approach, when you notice that there is a problem, you go and they are going to counsel you. A social worker can even call Jugendamt. A social worker can connect you to Jugendamt so that you get help. I have had so many people who come to my office and there is still no Jugendamt there, but I tell them, you know what? With this, the kind of problem that you're having, you're better off getting advice or getting support from Jugendamt. So I hold your hand, go to hand in hand. We invite Jugendamt, we talk about the problem, and you end up getting the necessary help that you want. This is one. Now, number two is African social workers work as intercultural family helpers that are installed by Jugendamt. We do this in Cologne with Pamoja Africa. Vera does it with Sompon services. So now, when we Afro social workers, we are put in a family, we first of all check what is the need in this family. We don't just come and just start working like super nanny. No. We just check what is the need of this family. We talk about it with the family, with the couple, if it's a couple. If it's only a mom, we talk with the mom. If it's only with the dad, we talk with the dad. And then we introduce it to the children. And so small by small, we start working until the problem is solved. Every 6 months, there's always a meeting with Jugendamt just to counter check if things are going right. So this is what our social workers can come in. They will coach you, they will mentor you, they are going to support you until the problem is solved, until you are at a position of handling this matter on your own. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, ma'am, I have another question. Now, when the Jugendamt invites you into a family and you get into that family, and has it ever happened that the family you were sent to go and give them the support did not really acknowledge your professionalism, and as a result, the Jugendamt had to take other actions and measures?
Yes, it has happened severally, because when I go into a family, first of all, I have been introduced or brought into this family by Jugendamt. So most of them, they don't have trust on you because they think you are just one of them. It is with a lot of effort you try to show them that you are not what they are thinking. And so first of all, because I'm being sent by Jugendamt, I pay and get paid by Jugendamt, it doesn't mean that I am just a marionette of Jugendamt to go and do those things that people talk about. We are just employed in a family. We are deployed in a family to support the family based on their needs. Most of the time it works, or it takes so long, because by the time you enter the family has been giving a lot of stories, how bad maybe you are, how bad Jugendamt you. So you have this job that is not easy, to try to portray a different image of what has already been spoken about. And I really live in the African community. I know how bad we are very good at spreading rumors about Jugendamt. I am here to tell you today, 20 years working with this department, I may be now at a position of telling you that this is correct, this is not correct. And I'm telling you this evening that if you cooperate with Jugendamt, it will not take, it's a question of time, really. Jugendamt remains and works where they see some changes have to take place. Now, it depends on you, parents, how you view this. If you cooperate, within a very short time, this problem is going to be solved. And the social worker is going to write a report, the problem is solved. But if you keep on resisting, pushing, showing some sort of not cooperating. Actually, not to cooperate is a major, because I will not write a report and say the problem is finished when the problem is not finished. So you have to cooperate so that this problem is handled. It's very costly to have a social worker work with you. So please, just cooperate and things are going to work out, and a good report is going to be given, and either in school or kindergarten, the teachers are going to see the difference with the children, and they're also going to say, yes, we see some changes. And it is at the end of the day good for your child and good for you, mother or father, so that you can have the peace of mind. This is all about upbringing.
This will take me again, ma'am, to another very serious challenge we have in the community. How do you succeed to build that trust so that our people, that you are actually working for them because of your intercultural openness, intelligence, knowledge, and because of this ability, the Jugendamt have employed you to say, hey, let's give this contract to this company so that they can better help this family, so that we don't even get to take away the child or the children. Now, how do you manage the mistrust in the community concerning your professionalism and your work?
It's not easy. Like I said, it's really a very unthankful work, because sometimes when you are deployed in a family, you just see how this case is going to end. And it pains me as your fellow African to see that with your behavior, you're actually pushing your child away. I actually say you are pushing with this, what you are doing now, you are just telling them, take this child forever or even longer. I'm not capable. I try to use these simple ones to tell my clients this. And sometimes I have managed to transform those that did not believe me to give different testimonies. In fact, I have had people fight physically for me because they had somebody say something negative about me and they know where we have come together. So it happens, but I might say like 80%, it's very strenuous also for me. Most of the time it takes so long, it may take so long and we have success, or it may take so long until I also give Jugendamt a report. I say I don't want to be in this family anymore, because I do not see myself solving the problem that brought me here. This family has no trust, so I request to be removed from this family. And in this case, they are given someone else, mostly white people, and within a very short time, the children are gone. So it's a pity that it happens this way. Now, somebody is saying that there's a family in Berlin wanting to know if they have Afro social workers. Yes, plenty of them. We have different Afro social workers based in different parts of Germany, and we are all connected. So if you have a problem, you can write to us on our messenger or on our email, which is on Facebook, and we can surely connect you to a social worker in your area. We work with different pastors in churches. We work with different institutions. We work with a lot of these new German organizations so that we can really prevent the children being taken away, or this misunderstanding that is always arising because of not understanding each other. I might say that maybe 70% of the cases that are abandoned so far, they started because of misunderstanding. And from a misunderstanding, there emerges a big problem. Like the case we are talking about, the little problem started in kindergarten. It became a police case until I heard that this couple, they took petrol and they went to Jugendamt to just cause trouble there. This was absolutely unnecessary, and maybe this couple has faced a lot of problems, so they need a lot of psychological support, a lot of psychiatrist support, so that they can heal before they get their children back. Here in Cologne, we have had a couple that went on strike. They went on hunger strike because their child was taken away. And what happened at the end of the day? Going on hunger strike, not eating, not sleeping in an apartment, sleeping outside at the train station. At the end of the day, the woman died, which is a pity. So the last advice that I would want to say here, which is a secret, don't fight with Jugendamt. Cooperate with Jugendamt. Be a team with Jugendamt, and the problem that is on the ground will be solved. I have had very worst cases where parents do very strange things to their children out of frustration. But when we are deployed in a family and we tell these parents, this is what you did, and this is what is being understood, and this is what it will take you to have your children back, or to get Jugendamt away from your family, and they then did something that we told them, it worked. So why is it not working? Let's try as much as we can. We are here not to talk something, we are talking the truth, because the problem is serious in our society. A lot of children are being taken away because parents are not acting the way they are supposed to act, because of a lot of misunderstanding, because of the trauma that we have brought into this country, or the trauma that we have picked from this country, or because of the children not even understanding us, the teenagers, They're becoming different because they want to push the parents away for their own autonomy. So there are a lot of things that make things not go right, and we are here today to say that there is help you can get, and this problem is known to Jugendamt. There is no new case that is not known to Jugendamt. These cases have been there, and they will always be there.
Ma'am, I'm still going to stay on this because I think that this is exactly where the challenge is, because I have the impression that because of the lack of trust, our clients, or again our community people, when I say community people, our African people, remember we are Afro social workers, and we want to concentrate on our African people to support them and give them the necessary support that they need. So I want to stay on this challenge because I know that it can be detrimental for the families. And now when we talk about the families and we're talking about the social workers, we're talking about the office, ma'am, I had a story, I had a case where the youth service invited me into a family. I went to that family, and before I told them already the different assignments I will have to do. This actually you're not supposed to really reveal, but then because they are Africans, and I really wanted them to understand at what point it will be if they don't follow up, if they don't cooperate. Now, they were really not cooperative. The Jugendamt will come, will invite me, and then every after 6 months, in fact, we had every after 3 months, what we call the HIFO planner.
Yes.
You go there, you discuss everything, what will be done, you write on the paper, you give the family, you give the youth service, you have your own, and then give them assignments. And then you have to go visit. Each time I went again, you realize again, they were talking like, oh, these people, I don't even, and I kept telling them, if you don't take this thing serious, I will leave, because I don't want my hand to be stained. And then you will say that it is me who took you to the Jugend and your child was taken from you. It wasn't even 6 months, because I noticed that they were not cooperative. They were playing dilly-dally, thinking that because you're a black fellow, and then they were calling her, sister. How do you go about with these things, sister, mama, and all this in the community when it has to do with your profession?
Thank you. So I am actually very relaxed. I'm laughing because I understand where these people are coming from by calling me mama. They call me Mama Helen. They call me they call me sister. They call me auntie. I understand and I appreciate it. Before, it was a problem where I was employed at the counseling center, because they'll come and say Mama Helen, and my German colleagues will tell me, this is very unprofessional of you for letting people call you mama, call you auntie, call you uncle, call you. Say no. So I told them, let these people be. I told them it won't be a big disrespect for these people to call me Mrs. Batemona Abeke. They will never ever call me. You will see a big papa of 50, 60 years calling me mama. I understand where this is coming from. So those are some of these intercultural aspects that I think that everyone should know. So my team at Diakoni those days, they understood, because the colleagues the clients were not only calling me mama, they were calling even white people mama, or this auntie and this. So at the beginning it was funny, but with time they understood. So I just let them be. To answer your question, let them call me that, because that's why now I come into the family and the children are calling me auntie. That is now the difference. When these children are seen with a black person, there are those families that understand, and they tell the children, this is your auntie, she'll be working with you. The African way, an auntie is there to educate children. It's not only mama or papa. So even if you walk places with them, it will not appear like it's somebody else who has been planted to teach you something. We do it, we help each other in the community. So it's very normal, very natural. So the only problem comes if you call me mama and auntie and sister, but then you don't listen to my guidance.
Exactly.
You do not understand. You don't take my coaching, my counseling. That is now where we have the problem, because
Yes.
now we have to make a professional line and say, I did not come here to be eating fufu every day. I came here to work with you and your family. I can eat. Thank you very much for your generosity. I know it. This is how we do it back at home. But I also have a duty. I have a duty to do, and at the end of the day, I have to write a report. I have to make sure that things have gone right the way they're expected by the offices. So if everyone can play their game, and you take me as auntie, mama, sister, but then you do it the way the auntie back home in Africa and that, I don't have any problem with this. I am just laughing because you can't change. You cannot tell these people. They will actually feel so disrespected if they call you mama, auntie, or sister, and you tell them, call me for Batemona, Abeke. It doesn't go this way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We're almost rounding up. And what would you say? Is there anything we have forgotten that we think is so important that our people get to understand, especially when it has to do with these emotions, especially when it has to do with this intercultural opening, especially when it has to do with the children, the assistance of the Afro social workers who have all this knowledge to be able to support them properly? Is there anything else that we can add to? But before we get to adding to, ma'am, most of the time, our people now say it is racism. Where is that thin line between this intercultural lack of intercultural openness and racism in this specific case? I don't want to go far with, I mean, in the specific case of the work of family support system.
Okay, there is there is a boundary actually. There is a boundary if you take time to try to understand what's going on. But I just want to tell you, when we talk of a traumatized person, when we talk of a depressed person, when we talk of somebody who is so busy with their life that like taking care of the children is really not the primary. The survival is the most important. It's not to sit down and tell child to have concentration on draw, on do this, on go this. Some are even refusing to take their children for injections, for this immunization, because somebody has given the wrong information that the immunization makes children also to be paralyzed. So there's a lot of wrong information going out there in the society. That's why we have to combat this fake news, this fake information that is telling people, be afraid of those social workers. Those African social workers are spies. They work with the police. They work with the government. No, we don't work with. We work, yes, with the police. We work with the government for your own betterment, but not to destroy you. So this is it. Now the issue of racism comes in. Sometimes really there is racism.
Yes.
Sometimes there is a lot of racism. Some misunderstandings is because of the prejudice these professionals, these white professionals are having on our families. So that brings around this misunderstanding, and the art and the manner, the way you also address adults. You know, in our African culture, it's like an insult if somebody comes and tells you you don't know how to take care of your child. So they need to know that not being able to take care of children properly is a taboo among our culture.
Yes.
So we have to handle this topic with care. It is so delicate. We have to remove the shame that is on these people. And when we do this with a lot of love and care and respect, and I'm sure that we are going to get there. And to my viewers, to our African brothers and sisters, to our African parents, do not be ashamed. In this country, it is survival for the fittest. So don't, that politeness of feeling ashamed because you are not able to do this on this, leave it behind, get help and move forward. We got help with our children. Today they are at the university or they are finished. But we had also family help. We had people that were helping us. Those days when we were also at that point where we were in need. So everybody can be transformed. The children can be transformed only if we can cooperate. Thank you very much. And the last point is always remember that you also have a right. If you notice that your rights are being stepped on, you can also question Jugendamt because they are also human beings, and most of them are also white people with their privileges. So they just treat this matter like it's just a file. It's not a human being. So also be awake and see with clear eyes, is this racism or is it my negligence? And if it's your negligence, get help and things will move on. Thank you.
If it is your negligence, get help and things will move on. You see, this conversation is extremely important. Many things we have touched today. We have gone from the understanding what Article 8A is, and that if you just see that in any letter, look for a social worker, but more especially, look for an African social worker who can really be of help to you. We also spoke about the intercultural openness of both sides, the side of the institution, because it looks like the institutions have become trauma to our clients. But on the other side, we also implore that our clients, or again, our community people, that we also get intercultural openness so that we can be able to tamper with our temperance, and so that our temperance will not be misunderstood and then cost us more harm than good. And at the end, again, we said it is so important that you cooperate with the institution. Of course, understanding that you have rights as parents. The very first primary right of children belongs to parents, and therefore you as parents, it is your responsibilities, it is your assignment. The children belong to us as parents, but the youth services comes in to give us the different support. And us as Afro social workers, we say develop trust for the work we are doing. Because if you do not develop trust for the work we are doing, then the consequences will be one, your children will get Europeans. I do not mean that white European privileged social workers cannot work with our African people. That's not what I mean. They can. Some that are really well interculturally open can do the job also very well.
But they're very
but
few.
they are very, very few, right? And so before your child is being taken because of negligence, because you mix the plantain, the cocoyams, and everybody into a box as though the social workers are really not doing anything, they really don't know anything, please make use of this professional support that we are giving to you. For those who are in Kern, I'm in Kern live, so hope to see you live someday also. And we're ending, ma'am. Do you have any last word again today?
I'm so happy that the topic went on well, and now we are going to continue with our enjoying the kind of work that brought us here today.
Exactly.
And we are looking forward to seeing you next week on Tuesday. Remember that we are having on the 25th and the 26th of this month, we are having an empowerment training for parents. If you have further questions, just get in touch with me, get in touch with Shavu, get in touch with Rose Wamboi, get in touch with Elta Network, and we are going to give you more information. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, and take good care of yourself. God bless you. We meet again next week. Bye-bye.